So hi guys, today we're going to use a calculator technique in order to solve for the geometric mean of a given series. So here we have a series of terms, and just a few recall that the geometric mean is said to be the nth root of the product of all terms here in the series. So we have 11 terms here in this geometric series, which is our n. So n is equal to 11. Now, to verify the geometric mean or the value for this geometric mean, we're going to manually input this in our calculator. So we simply type it in. So n is 11, and then input all the numbers and then multiply them. So once we're done, we are able to get this value of 53.783. Now, this is using the traditional or the typical method. So, however, there might be instances when our calculator will not be able to accommodate anymore the number of terms and the number of characters that each term has, including the square root or the nth root and the multiplication symbols. So, we go now to the first alternative method, which is the store. So, I am referring the store or STO to this function here in this calculator of this particular 570 ES plus of the Casio FX series, and then this function enables us to store values. So this button here, when we press shift and store and using any of the available letters, then we'll be able to store values. So how do we go about this? So we go back to our terms, and then since we have 11, we can regroup them. So the easiest would be regroup them into two. So we're going to get the product of each group. So we simply multiply the number of the terms to each other. So we start with the first row, and then we're done. So we press enter. So this is our first product. So we store this value. So we press shift, then store A. Shift store A. So that is our first product. So to see if it's stored, alpha A and then equal sign. So it is already stored. Now for the remaining terms, we do the same, but this time we store it in B. So we get the product of the second group. And then once we're done, enter, store, shift, store, and then B. And then we are already going to use the formula. So our n will still be 11, then alpha A times alpha B. And then click the equal sign. And as you can see, we got the same value for our geometric mean, which is 53.783. So to summarize, store value is simply regrouping the terms and then get the product of each group and then store it using the calcu and then use the formula. So the last alternative method would be the stat log. So the stat log is actually another function in the calculator, which is found here in mode, and then 3, which is stat. So we're just going to use one var since we only have we're going to only use the table function. So now, we're going to get the logarithm of each term. Because the principle behind this stat log is that the geometric mean is the anti-logarithm of the arithmetic mean of the logarithm of the terms in the geometric progression. So to better understand it, let's just get first the logarithm of the terms. So we just use the log here. Okay, now we're done. And then we're going to press AC. Now we're going to get the anti-log. So we can use this shift and the anti-logarithm function, which can be found here. Just shift and then the log button. It will give us the anti-log. Now we're going to get the summation of the values that we input in the table. So shift and then 1, shift stat, and then we press 3 for the sum and 2 since we'll only need the summation of the x. And then we're going to press this, or you can use the divide and then shift 1 again and then 4 variable and then 1 n, or you can just use 11. You can manually enter 11. Close parenthesis, and then we press the equal sign, and as you can see, we are able to get the same value as we did in the first alternative method and using the formula alone. So to summarize the stat log, we're going to use the stat function, input the logarithm of each term, and then get the anti-log of the sum of the terms divided by the n. So that would be all, and thank you for watching. Hope you learned something.